Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Royal Ascot here on Friday. It is June the 22nd, 2018. I'm going to look at all the races on today's program from Ascot, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Like always, it's always a good card from Ascot. I'm going to look at all 6 races. We have a lot of action to get to, so let's get on to it. Starting off with the first race, the 230. The 230, it's the Group 3 Albany Stakes. It's for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $121,500. This race is for 2-year-old fillies only. Field of 18 horses, going the distance of ground of 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the Ascot lawn, the turf course. As a top selection here, I like the 5-horse Fairyland. I'm going to go 5-1-10 in the tricast of the trifecta. That's basically my top 3 here. 5-1-10, tricast trifecta. Top selection, the 5-horse Fairyland. 5-2, Shamie Hefferman's on this Aidan O'Brien trained 2-year-old filly by Kodiak. This horse has had the best run out of anybody in this race today. The most recent outing came on the 26th of May at Curra. 6 furlongs in a Class 1 listed stakes. This horse won by 2 1/4 lengths and could have won by more, but this horse just had a very easy race. An all-around decent effort. Before that, on the 7th of May, horse's first outing at Naas. 6 furlongs in a fillies maiden race for 2-year-olds fillies. Horse won by 1 1/4 lengths, and again, this horse just quickened up nicely and had a very easy victory. I think coming back here, facing the girls again, last time this horse faced the boys, I think facing the girls today, this horse should just really run a big one. 5-2 is not the best price, but she's a well-deserved favorite in my eyes, so watch out for her to run a big one. Now, say she doesn't run a big one, I think the 1-horse Angel's Hideaway you want to put on your ticket. I'm not sure what the pick 4 is today for Ascot. Is it going to be the first 4 races? Is it going to be the last 4? Is it going to be some of the middle races? But if it's the first 4 races, I would use the 1-horse Angel's Hideaway as some insurance. Frankie Dettori is on this John Gosden trained 2-year-old filly by Dark Angel. This horse ran about 2 weeks ago now, 7th of June at Haydock. 6 furlongs in a Class 4 maidens fillies race. This horse won by 2 1/4 lengths. It was the 73 cents a dollar favorite. He was a heavy favorite into the ground, and he just won very easily. Had the second most impressive race out of anybody in here. It was just a decent effort. And then 19th of May at Newmarket, 6 furlongs in a fillies novice Class 4. Horse finished third by 2 1/2 lengths. He really just couldn't get that good closing kick at the end. He just, it took a little bit for this horse to get the acceleration, a little bit too late. I just think here also she could run a big one. 10-1 she'll be used on a pick 4 ticket, and maybe a small each way wager. So to recap my bets for today's first race, to 230 from Royal Ascot, it's the Group 3 Albany Stakes. As a top selection here, I like the 5-horse Fairyland. I'm going to go 5-1-10 in the tricast or the trifecta. I would use the 5 and the 1 on a pick 4 ticket. So now let's get on to race number 2. The 305, the second race from Ascot. It's the Group 2 King Edward VII Stakes. It's a Group 2 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $304,000. This race is for 3-year-olds, colts and geldings only. Field of 9 horses, going the distance of ground of 2,400 meters, or the distance of ground of 1.5 miles on the turf course. My top selection here, I like the 7-horse Ra Atoll. I'm going to go 7-2-8 in the tricast of the trifecta. 7-2-8 tricast trifecta. Top selection, 7-horse Ra Atoll. 9-2, 4.5-1. This trio colts by See the Stars. Frankie Dettori is on this one for John Gosden. This horse's most recent outing came on the 28th of May. That came at Leicester, yielding ground 1.5 miles in a 3-year-old novice race. This horse won by 2 lengths. And what was very impressive with that race was this horse had a very wide posture, and he still overcame to get the victory. Also, he had a very high weight of 134 pounds, and he still overcome to get the victory. It was a very good effort for this horse there. Before that, on the 11th of May at Nottingham, firm ground, 1.25 miles in a Class 5 novice race. Again, with a wide posture, this horse really excelled. He won by 1.5 lengths, 67 cents a dollar. He just had a walk in the park there. And then his first career outing, you throw out, that was at Newmarket during the Craven meeting, 1.25 miles in a Class 4 novice race. Horse finished second by 2 lengths. He was under the drive most of the race, and he never really concentrated. But I think here, facing stakes quality horses for the first time shouldn't really be a problem with this one. I just think he should run a very good race. So at 9-2, I'll take my chances with him. Another horse, if you're going to play the pick 4, the 2-horse Delano Roosevelt's a very nice horse for Coolmore. Ryan Moore's on this one for Aidan O'Brien. This horse's most recent outing came on the 2nd of June at Epsom, 1.5 miles in the Group 1 Investec Derby, the English Derby. This horse finished 6th by 12 lengths, and he just was never into it. It just wasn't his day to win. I think he was my top selection there, and he just just did not show up. But I think coming here with a massive step down in class, he just should run a lot better of a race. Also, the firmer ground should really help. Before that, Leopardstown, a mile and a quarter in the Derby trial there. This horse finished second by 3/4 length behind Hazapur, who didn't run a very good race in the Derby either. This horse, he just couldn't get there, but he ran a decent effort there. And then before that, in the Albany Stakes at Leopardstown, a mile and a quarter in mid-April. First off the layoff, he finished second by half length behind Nelson. Again, he just missed, but it was a decent comeback race. I think here today he can run a big one also. So like I said, he'll be used on my pick 4 ticket. Maybe if you have some extra bankroll, maybe the 8-horse Rospovich could be used on your pick 4 also. Another cool more horse. He ran a crap race in the Prix du Jockey Club, I must say, a few weeks ago at Shunti. But other than that, he has run quite well in the past, and he should really excel with the drier ground, sitting a little bit closer. At 3-1, he can maybe get a piece of it also. So if you have some extra bankroll for your pick 4, use Rospovich also. So to recap my bets for today's second race from Royal Ascot, the 305. It's the Group 2 King Edward VII Stakes as a top selection. I like the number 7 horse here, Ra Atoll. I'm going to go 7-2-8 in the tricast, or the trifecta. I'll go 7-2-8 in my pick 4 also. So now let's get on to race number 3 from Ascot. The third race, the 340 from Ascot. It's the Group 1 Commonwealth Cup. It's a Group 1 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $675,000. This race is for 3-year-olds only. Field of 22 horses going the distance of ground of 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the turf course. Since this race was inaugurated, is that even a word, inaugurated? Since this race was, imagined 5 or so years ago, probably even shorter, probably about 3 years ago, it's been a decent race. Yes, it does take away from the Diamond Jubilee, but still, it's still a good race. It's very wide open here, and I have a horse that I think could really run a big one. That top selection here is going to go to the 22 horse. Now you're talking. I'm going to go 22-11-14. 22-11-14 in the tricast or the trifecta. But to tell you the truth, I'm not going to play a tricast. All these horses are at nicer odds, and I probably will do a each way wager on all 3 of them, or maybe even exacta box or forecast box on all 3 of them. See what happens. But for the pick 4 here in North America, I would use all 3 of them. But as a top selection, a major each way interest for me is the 22 horse. Now you're talking 20-1 here. Jamie Spencer's on this. Joseph O'Brien, trained 3-0 filly by Zoffany. This horse's most recent outing came on 20th of May. That came at Nace on firm ground. 6 furlongs in the Group 3 Lakin Stakes. This horse finished 4th by 1 3/4 lengths behind Sioux Nation, who I believe is running back in this one today, and he is. This horse, he quickened up nicely. It wasn't a bad race for this horse. I think with actually, hopefully, a quicker pace in this one, he should really excel a little bit more. Before that, in a listed stakes at Nace, 5.5 furlongs, 1,100 meters, 7th of May. This horse finished 3rd by 1.5 lengths, and it was his second race of the year. He quickened up a little bit that day. It wasn't the worst race of his life. And then at Dundalk, 5 furlongs in a maiden race last March. This horse won by 1 3/4 lengths, 29 cents to the dollar favor. He just walked in the park there. Joseph O'Brien sent this horse to run in the Brews Cup last year at Del Mar, Brews Cup Juvenile Turf to be exact, where he finished 8th by 6 3/4 lengths, and he just had a little traffic trouble and really wasn't into it. And then before that, in the Chevrolet Park at Newmarket, he ran 4th that day behind Clemmy. He ran okay that day. He had a decent turn of foot at the end. It wasn't a bad race. I just think here at 20-1, he's a horse you definitely want to do an each way wager on. Hopefully he goes up to 30-1 here in North American pools, because I would be over the moon. So watch out for this horse here today. Another horse I think can get a piece of it is the 11 horse Invisible Army. 7-1. James Doyle's on this. James Tate trained 3-0 colt by Invisible Spirit. This horse had a decent run at Haydock a few weeks ago now. 26th of May, 6 furlongs in the Sandy Lane Stakes. Horse finished 2nd by a nose. Just missed, but it was a very decent effort for this horse. Before that, here in the Pavilion Stakes at Ascot, 6 furlongs May the 2nd. This horse won by 1.5 lengths, and he just had a very nice victory off the break there. Horses that like running here at Ascot love running here. I cannot stress that enough. I know that probably didn't make sense to some people, but horses, Ascot is a horse for course. And this horse, if your horse has won here already in the past, that's a good sign. Sorry, I haven't had enough coffee yet. The cup is still half full. He just won very nicely. Before that, Newbury in the fall, 6 furlongs in the Middle Reef Stakes. He finished second by 3/4 length behind James Garfield, and he wasn't going to catch James Garfield, who ran a decent effort there, but this horse was second best. And then the Serenia Stakes at Kempton on the all-weather last fall. This horse won by 1.5 lengths, quickened up nicely, and just had a very easy victory. I like this horse a lot here today. 7-1. He could also upset, along maybe with the 14 horse Sansamali, 3-0 Colt by Panis. Paul Hannigan's on this one for Richard Fahey. This horse, he ran in the Sandy Lane Stakes a few weeks ago behind my Invisible Army horse, and he beat Invisible Army. This horse won by a nose, and he was all out on the stretch, but he got the victory. Very nice race for this horse. Before then, the Prix-Sigia Shunti, 6 furlongs, April 13th. First start back from North America. This horse won by a nose, and again, he just had a very nice victory there. And then the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf at Del Mar. He finished 9th by 3.25 lengths, and he just hit the wall that day. Mendelssohn just ran a hell of a race from the front and had the least traffic. The Del Mar races, I've noticed on the turf, if your horse has traffic trouble, next start out they do a lot better. The problem with Del Mar is it's just a very tight race course, and you could throw out a lot of races from Del Mar if you're looking at the form guide. You could definitely throw out that. I hope you threw out that race in the Breeders' Cup, and then next start out you had him in the Prix-Sigia because he ran very nicely. But before that, in the fall, late summer here, it's in the UK. He won the Gimcrack Stakes at York very easily, and he won a Class 5 novice race at Nottingham very easily. I like him a lot here today. And I think at 7-1 he can really get a piece of it. The ground, if there's a barrier post that's more effective this week, they are saying the outside, the upper numbers are really are at the advantage so far this week. So this horse is breaking from barrier number 22, so it's the farthest outside. So maybe he get a piece of it at the end. 7-1, he's a horse you want on your wagers. So to recount my bets for today's third race, the 340 from Ascot. It's the Group 1 Commonwealth Cup. As a top selection here, as my best bet of the day, it's going to go to the 22 horse. Now you're talking. I'm going to go 22-11-14. 22-11-14. I'm not going to play a tricast. I'll probably do an exacta box here, or a forecast box here, 22-11-14. And if you're going to play the pick 4 here in North America, I would definitely use all 3 of them. They're very nice shots here, throwing out the favorites in this race. So now let's get on to race number 4, the 420 from Ascot. Race number 4, the 420 from Ascot. It's the feature race of the afternoon. It's the Group 1 Coronation Stakes. It's a Group 1 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $727,500. This race is for 3-year-old fillies only. Field of 13 horses going the 1,600-meter trip, or 1 mile on the turf course. As a top selection here, I like the 7-horse Clemmy. I'm going to go 7-10-3 in the tricast of the trifecta. 7-10-3, tricast trifecta. Top selection, the 7-horse Clemmy. Breaking from the inside barrier here, barrier number 1. Rye Moore's on this one for Aidan O'Brien. This three filled by Galileo. This horse's most recent outing came out on the 27th of May at Curra. First off the layoff, 1 mile in the Irish 1,000 guineas. This horse finished 9th by 7.5 lengths and was never really into it. Probably needed the race. I think here, second off the break, this horse should just run a little bit better. Before that, in the Chevrolet Park at Newmarket, 6 furlongs on September the 30th. This horse won by 1 3/4 lengths that day, and just won it very nicely. Could have probably won by more, but it was just a very easy victory there. And then before that, Newmarket, the 14th of July, 6 furlongs in the Duchess of Cambridge. Horse won by 1 3/4 lengths. Another very easy, quickening up victory. This horse has run here at Ascot in the past, but it was a loss in the Albany Stakes last season, where this horse finished 7th by 4.5 lengths. I never was really into it, but this horse, for the first 2 starts, looking at the replays of it, this horse looked very immature and really never was concentrated onto the race. But after that Albany Stakes, this horse is, started getting another momentum. She won a race at Curra very easily in early July, went on to win at the Duke of Cambridge, and went on to win the Chevrolet Park impressively. I just think here today, second off the break, this horse should really run a big one, so watch out for her. Another horse I would use on your pick 4 ticket here in North America would be the 10 horse T-Pal. Olivier Pellier, the Frenchman, is on this David Simcock trained real filly by Camacho. You know, this horse's most recent outing came on the 13th of May at Longchamp, 1 mile in the Group 1 Poulet d'Essai de Pouliche, which is basically the French 1,000 guineas. This horse won by nose for the first start off the layoff against a very tough group of horses. This horse had a very good run. She quickened up nice and very softest to good ground, and she just won very nicely there, beating, like I said, a very tough group of horses. I just think here, second off the break on firmer ground, this horse should really excel. She also has a good post draw on this race. You know, before that, this horse ran at Kempton in the fall, 7 furlongs in a Class 4 Fillies novice. Horse won by 4 lengths, and she just had a very easy victory there. And then at Linkfield in late August, 7 furlongs in a Fillies novice auction. Horse won by a neck. Why post draw didn't affect this one? She just got there in the end. You know, she gets the veteran up of Pellier. I just think this horse should really run a big one. At 5-1, she's a horse here in North America you're going to want to use on your pick 4. So watch out. So to recap my bets for today's 4th race from Royal Ascot, it's the 420. It is the Group 1 Coronation Stakes. As a top selection, I'll use the 7-horse Clemmy. I'm going to go 7-10-3 in the TriCast or the trifecta. I'll go 7-10 in the pick 4. So now let's get on to race number 5 from Ascot. The 5 o'clock, the 5th race from Royal Ascot, it's the Sandra Ham Stakes. It's a fillies handicap for Class 2 horses going for a purse of $121,500. This race is for 3-year-old fillies only, rated 0 to 105. We have a very large field of 24 horses going the distance of ground of 1,600 meters or 1 mile on the turf course. My top selection here, I like the 3 horses here. I'm not going to give you top selection. I'm going to give you 3 horses that I think can win. Those 3 horses are the 6-horse Defidi, the number 10 horse here, Kaziana, I probably said that wrong, but pardon that, and the 22 horse here, Bubble and Squeak. So 6, 10, 22 for me here in the Sandra Ham. First horse to talk about is number 6 horse Defidi, 15-1, 3-year-old filly by Chamardal. Richard King's coach is on this Ralph Beckett trained real filly. Horse's most recent outing came on the 4th of June at Leicester. 7 furlongs in Class 3 fillies conditions race. This horse won by 3/4 of a length. Had only 2 other rivals that day, but this horse just had a very good quickening up. A very good race for this horse. Before then, a fillies handicap Class 2 event at Ascot, locally, 1 mile, May the 12th. This horse finished third by a neck. It was an all-out finish, and this horse, he just couldn't get that good closing kick at the end. It was his first race in quite a while, so maybe he needed the race. And then before that, 25th of October at Kempton, 7 furlongs at a Class 4 nursery handicap. Horse won by a nose, 3-1, heavyweight. Didn't affect this horse. He just won very nicely there. He's run 9 times, and he's a winner of 3 races, and just looking at him, he hasn't run really a crap race. I just think here today at 15-1, he can run another big one, so watch out for him. Another horse I want to talk about is the 10 horse Kaziana. Probably saying that wrong, but just pardon that again. Roger Varian trains this one. Andre Adazzini gets leg up on this real filly by Frankel. This horse hasn't started since the 6th of May. That came at Newmarket, 1.25 miles in a fillies listed stakes. This horse finished third by 8.25 lengths. The 2 in front of him were just a little bit better horses in quality, and this horse just never really got into it. I think with a little bit of a step down class from that race to here, I just think this horse ran a little bit better. Before that, Newmarket, 1 mile and maiden fillies race, Class 4 event. This horse broke the maiden by 3.5 lengths and just won very nicely. An all-around decent effort for this horse there. And then before that, at Yarmouth, 24th of October, 1 mile in a fillies novice Class 4 event. Horse finished third by 2 lengths, and he never was really into it. Never got a good closing kick. It wasn't the worst race, but he just wasn't, excelling at the end. It probably had those 2-year-old antics. But I think coming here with a step-down class from the last race, with a Frankel on the sire side, this horse is bred to go the mile, and I just think this horse can run a big race. So at 6-1, horse you definitely want on the ticket also. Along with the number 22 horse, Bubble and Squeak, a very long shot of price play in this race. He's at 30-1 here in North America tote pool. I'm not sure what he's trading at in the UK at the minute, but I'll check right after this. Luke Morris is on this one for Sylvester Kirk, who trains a 3-year-old filly by Master Craftsman. What the hell is my cat doing? Sorry, I don't know if you're picking up that noise on this on my microphone, but a little off subject. My cat is finished up. The cat's going through a bag I have next to me, my school backpack. I should move it. I haven't had school in about 6 weeks' time, so it's been sitting there for 6 weeks. That tells me I should move it. But back to this 22 horse Bubble and Squeak. My price play of the day, 30 to 1. Luke Morris is on the Sylvester Kirk train through affiliated by Master Craftsman. I think I said that already, but this horse. He's run 7 times. He's only won once, but he's in all those 7 races, this horse has run a decent effort. His most recent effort came on 25th of May at Goodwood, yielding ground, 1 mile of Phillies Class 4 handicap. This horse won by a neck. He got the victory with heavyweight. He quickened up nicely, and he got there. All around decent effort. He was carrying 133 pounds that day. Today he's carrying 20 less pounds, which I think is the different, it should really be the deciding factor for him. He's just a very, like I said, he's run very well in the past. Before that, in the Craven meeting at Newmarket, 1 mile and maiden Philly Class 4, horse finished 5th by 6.5 lengths. Out of the 7 races, that was the horse's probably worst race, and still it wasn't a bad race. She just needed that extra kick at the end. It probably needed the race first off the break. And then the 23rd of November at Chelmsford, mile and a quarter Class 3 conditions race. Horse finished 3rd by 2 3/4 lengths. She stayed a little bit that day. It wasn't a bad run there. And then here at Chelmsford, 1 mile in a Class 4 novice race. Horse finished 2nd by half length. This horse just missed at the end. If she saved a little bit more ground, I think she could have got the victory, but she ran very nicely. 30 to 1. This horse is a very good shot to win here today. Watch out for it. I hope you do a nice win wager on her, because she definitely deserves it. So to recap my bets for the 5 o'clock, the 5th race from Royal Ascot, it's the Sandra Ham Stakes. Gonna go as a top selection. Well, like I said, I'm not gonna give you top selection. I'm gonna give you 3 horses that I think can win. Those 3 horses are the 6 horse, the 10 horse, and the 22. The 6 horse Defeaty, the 10 horse Kazana, and the number 22 horse Bubble and Squeak. A price play at 30 to 1. So now let's get on to race number 6 from Ascot. The 5:35, the 6th race from Royal Ascot. It's the Duke of Edinburgh Stakes. It's a Class 2 handicap going for a purse of $121,500. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards, rated 0 to 105. Field of 22 horses going the distance of ground to 2,400 meters or a mile and 1/2 on the turf course. My top selection here, I like the number 11 horse Saunter. I'm going to go 11-18-3 in the tricast, so the trifecta. 11-18-3 tricast trifecta. Top selection, the 11 horse Saunter. Jim Crowley's on this Ian Williams trained 5-year-old gelding by my boy Charlie. This horse's most recent outing came in France at Saint-Cloud a few weeks ago. Mile 3/4, 2,800 meters on yielding ground and 4-year plus handicap. This horse finished 4th by 1 3/4 lengths. He quickened up a little bit that day, but for his first start off the break, he probably needed the race. I just think here coming 2nd off the break with a good poster, I just like this horse's chances a lot. Before that, the 11th of November at Doncaster, mile and a half Class 2 handicap. Horse won by 1 1/4 lengths, and from a wide post he just ran a very good race there. Decent effort there. And then before that, Newmarket, a mile and a half in the rolling mile in a Class 2 handicap. Horse finished 2nd by 3 lengths that day. He wasn't going to catch the winner, Torcello, who just ran a hell of a race. This horse had a little bit of a heavy weight of 136 pounds, which I think probably cost him at the end. But at 15 to 1 here today, 2nd off the break, I like this horse's chances a lot. He had a very good run here in last July, and watch out for him to run a big one. Another horse, maybe to get a piece of it, is the 18 horse Plutonian. Jamie Spencer's on this one for Charlie Hills. This 4-year-old colt by Ravens Pass. This horse ran at Windsor a few weeks ago, mile and a quarter Class 3 handicap, and this horse won by 3/4 length. It was the 2nd start of the season, and he just won very nicely. Could have won by more, but they don't want to kill the horse. But it was a very good effort. Before that, you could throw the Newmarket race out in the Craven meeting. 1 mile in the Class 2 handicap. This horse finished 12th by 12 lengths and never was really into it. He probably desperately needed the race there. It was his worst race lifetime. And then at Chelmsford, a mile and a quarter Class 2 handicap last November. Horse won by a head. He quickened up nicely and had a very nice victory there. Another horse, I think he can run a big one at 15 to 1. If you want to do a small each-way wager, you can on him also. And the 3 horse, Clear Skies, with Ryan Moore for Aidan O'Brien. He's 15 to 1 here, and I think this 5-year-old mare can run a big one beating the boys. She is a little bit of a heavyweight here, but that shouldn't be a problem because she's run some decent races in the past. Most recently at Gowran in Ireland, a mile 3/16 in a Phillies listed stakes. Horse finished 2nd by 3/4 length. She just missed at the end, but she's the kind of horse that you really like the mile and a half trip instead of the mile and 3/4 trip, or excuse me, mile 3/16 trip. But before then, the Blue Wind Stakes, this horse finished 3rd by 2 1/4 lengths, and she just couldn't catch the winner. She needed that extra kick there. And then her last time going a mile and a half at Cork in a Fillies listed stakes. First off the break, she finished third by 6.5 lengths. She closed up a little bit that day, but it wasn't enough to win. You know, she's a very nice horse here today, and at 15-1, I'll take my chances with her also. Maybe a small each way wager. But to recount my bets now for the the sixth race now, the 5:35 from Royal Ascot. It's the Duke of Edinburgh Stakes. As a top selection, I like the 11 horse Saunter. I'm going to go 11, 18, 3 in the tricast or the trifecta. I might do a small each way wager on all three of them, see what happens. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and join me tomorrow for the final day of the Royal Ascot meeting. Good luck.